Hello, my name is Benji and welcome to Dice vs Cards. Today we go back to the grim dark and continue our look at building a Necron force. Whether you built an army before or this is your first time at this lark, we've got you covered, both for open and narrative play, where we'll talk in terms of power, and matched play, where we'll tally up the points. Today's video, which focuses on getting you to a strike force sized army of 75 power or 1500 points, is the next natural increment in expanding your forces. So if you've been watching our previous videos, you'll know we've been blazing the path of two different builds. The first is just an all-rounders list for those that are more interested in diversity of models than anything particularly meta at any given time. And the second is a predominantly thematic build, building around the new Destroyer cult units. Now we started off recommending the purchase of both the Recruit and the Elite Edition box sets, and the rest have been standalone purchases to date. Kicking things off with our traditional build then, we're still able to get cozy in a patrol detachment, so it's still not quite time to go bigger. In the HQ slots, we're only going to rock one extra to complement our Overlord, here in the form of a TECHNOMANCER, one of the 4 generic Cryptek choices, and who's the master reanimator of the bunch. This guy will be shepherding a unit of warriors and making them even more resilient than they already were. Now we're not doing a huge amount with the troop slots either. The unit of 5 immortals and a unit of 10 warriors remain, but we're bigging up the other unit of 10 warriors to a much larger unit of 19. Why 19, you ask? Well, patience, we'll get to that. Not only that, we may be hatching a plan to get them closer to combat as well. So we're switching out their stock Gauss Flayers with Gauss Reapers at no extra cost, which are effectively shorter range but higher strength and AP weapons. Moving to the elite choices, we're sticking with the Sniper Death Marks because, well, we're here to add not subtract. And in the next sentence, we're getting rid of the unit of the 3 SKORPEKH destroyers. Okay, when I say getting rid, they'll probably make a return in a larger army, but for now, they're making way for a TRIARCH STALKER, which I'm contented to call a toolkit support unit. Yes, it's only one model, but he's got a bunch of wounds, a 5-up invuln, and quantum shielding. Not only that, he can get around the board very competently. But most notably, he has a suite of weapons to choose from, ranging from strength 5 to strength 8. In other words, pick the weapon most suited to the opposing army. Oh, and for your support needs, any target unit he marks for some hits allows you to reroll ones to hit for any of your other units to target them. As far as fast attack choices are concerned, we've upped our unit of 6 Canoptic Scarab Swarms to a unit of 9, alongside the unit of Tomb Blades we already had. Now, I've already explained why these are strong. For the points cost, they're great at capping objectives, and they require a decent amount of firepower to deal with. Oh, and if you do get into close combat with them, again, they really outperform their cost. The heavy support choices only see minor changes as well, with the addition of a heavy Locust Destroyer to the Destroyer unit we already have, giving the higher point model a little bit of protection, and they both sit alongside the rather ominous looking and quite mean Canoptek Doomstalker. Alas, that is not the end of all the new goodness. No, we'd promise you we'd explain why the 19 warriors, and now is the time, as we proclaim quite loudly from the skies that we're investing in a Night Scythe, a flyer choice that has a transport capacity of 20, count them 20 infantry models, and so here we squeeze the warriors and their TECHNOMANCER shepherd. Time to drop these bad boys off so they can get their Gauss Reapers on decimate duty, the turn they disembark. Now, the Night Scythe isn't exactly threadbare when it comes to its own weaponry. Just bear in mind that there's a lot of points, both in the flyer and in the models that are embarked upon it, so don't get shot down. So there you have your 75 power and 1482 points of all round Necron goodness. Things are rounding out very nicely now, even if I do say so myself. And quite as you'd expect from what is a bare minimum size for a large scale 40k game. This will give you a nice selection of units to choose from that gives you at least a sampling of a lot of what the Necrons have to offer. And this will only help you in seeing which types of units suit your playstyle and those that you enjoy playing. Moving swiftly on to the Destroyer Cult build, we can no longer be shackled within the confines of a patrol detachment, because we are blowing the wheels off this car and building a truck. Honestly, only I know what I'm banging on about. And not because we're cult, but because we can. We're working 3 HQs. The Overlord for command protocols, and the SKORPEKH Lord for cult synergies that were present in our previous list. But we're also adding a CHRONOMANCER this time. Another of the 4 types of cryptex, and it will confer upon a lucky unit some charge re-rolling and a 5-up invuln save. Now unfortunately our troop choices aren't getting much love at all, in part because there are no destroyer cults in the curtilage of the available choice. But we are pimping out the unit of 5 immortals into a double the size unit of 10. C'est magnifique. They're still accompanied by 2 10-man units of warriors, there to do their warrioring. Nailed it. And if you were looking for a variety in the elite choices, I'm afraid you're going to walk away disappointed. That's because the only addition is to bulk out a unit of 3 SKORPEKH destroyers to a full complement of 6. Now it's this unit that's going to be shepherded by the CHRONOMANCER, and most likely be the grateful recipient of his chronometron ability that we've already talked about. So as soon as these guys get safely into combat, it's ever so likely going to be lights out for the engaged unit. As far as the fast attack slots go, we're rocking a new unit of Ophidian destroyers, effectively the stepsister brothers of the SKORPEKH destroyers, sacrificing some native strength for greater range of motion and the ability to tunnel underground and arrive from reserves right up in your 9-inch grill. Interestingly, you can also take weapons that are improved against high save armour and 1 wound models. Either way, with these and the Tomb Blades, there ain't many places on the battlefield that can't be reached in short order. Rounding out the list is another combo of 1 Locust Destroyer and 1 Locust Heavy Destroyer. Now my recommend is you take these 2 and bung them in the same unit, and doing the same with the combo from the previous list, just to give the Heavy a bit of protection. But it's completely up to you. You can mix and match these to your heart's content. Just remember you're capped at 3 heavy support choices in this size detachment, so you'll be paying command points if you spread yourself too thin. And so there again you have your 75 power or 1465 points of Destroyer Cult. There's more than enough synergy to go around, especially between the CHRONOMANCER, SKORPEKH Lord and the SKORPEKH and Ophidian destroyers, plus the little Canoptic plasma sight that could. Not only that, there's some beautiful minis to go around here. We've also more or less seen the bulk of the Destroyer Cult models. In terms of the cost of both builds, we've pretty much settled into a fairly corollary increase in price with each of these army size increments. The Destroyer Cult models are marginally costing you more per, but considering a lot of these are new molds, that's not entirely unexpected. And you can also try and continue to source the Necron half of some of those made to order Indomitus boxes that are floating around the secondary market to help allay some of the cost. That's it for the third part of this series, however. You'll find the list in text format below for your convenience. And stay tuned for the next parts that will see us planning and building 100 power or 2000 point strike force armies, and finally all the way up to 150 power or 3000 point onslaught sized forces. However, that's it from me. I'll see you next time.